What about you, man? What are your top 3, 4, 5?
All right. So first one is even like pre-lead magnet. If you don't have an email list right now, you probably actually have, you might have previous customers that you just haven't loaded them up into like a software like MailChimp or anything yet. So I would definitely start with any low hanging fruit that you got. So if you have like previous customers or contacts or things that where people have actually given you like voluntarily their email.
Yeah.
What I'm not talking about is people that have not voluntarily given you your email. Don't spam. That'd be spamming. So
hey, who's to say?
Yeah.
You know, maybe some people like spamming.
Yeah. Well, okay. We can talk about that on another podcast. But start with your low hanging fruit. But for us. And a lot of this stuff, like Devin mentioned, you run Facebook ads to these lead magnets, you run YouTube ads to these lead magnets. You can even start really simply on your website with a pop-up. You ever seen pop-ups on websites? It's like, put your email address here. We start stuff like that. What I did when I started, trying to figure out this lead magnet is I came up with 3 ideas. The first one was like a video training, like you said. It was like a how to learn keyword research in 4 minutes or something, like training. The other one was I made like a really long like webinar, like how to do local SEO from A to Z. And I thought that was like really valuable. So I thought that most people would opt into that. And the third one that I made was like a PDF. So it's crazy that we have like the exact same thing.
This is
the third one I made was
like
it was like a PDF that was like the 50 best SEO tools. And I was like, okay, well, that last one I just made in like, a morning, I just typed up the best tools or whatever. And I was like, this one is not really going to be that great. In comparison to this long training that took me like weeks to put together, that was super valuable. Turns out, the one where I just got the free PDF, that one crushed it. Like way more people opt into that. When I ran ads to it, it got leads for way less price than the other one. And if you think about it like that, you're like, it's kind of a relief, because anybody that wants to create their first, lead magnet, you don't have to spend a million years creating it. Actually, something simple, like you said, the checklist can often work the best. Why? Well, it's kind of like if you go up to a girl and you're like, hey, would you like to spend the next 3 weeks with me? It's going to be so valuable. We're going to do these 800 things.
Yeah.
Or you can be like, hey, can I buy you a coffee? It's like way less risk, way less commitment. You don't have to invest the time or whatever. It's just a very small commitment for that email address. You get that. And then give them something great, over deliver, and that really starts the relationship off well.
Yeah, and I like what you said there, and that's something people should understand too is MVP. So when you're building out your initial email list, when you're just starting to, let's say, run ads or something like that, you definitely want something that isn't going to take a lot of work. You just want to test a lot of things, like the bare minimum, because you don't want to spend 2 or 3 weeks preparing something only for it to
like
just
a big
fail.
SEO webinar.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Whatever he does, opposite. No, you don't want to spend 2 or 3 weeks like preparing for something and then it just like, falls flat. You want to rock stuff out in an afternoon, maybe, especially if you're going the PDF lead magnet route that I think we're both really behind here. You can crank out like 3 or 4 of those in a day.
Yeah.
You can make them all about different things within your industry and see what the audience is, see what your industry is responding to best right now. So don't get like an expensive designer, don't spend a ton of time on it or anything like that. Just throw some stuff out there, really simple, see what works. And then if you find something that works and you're getting good leads that fit within your price range or your cost per acquisition, then you run with it. Then you can start getting the sick designs and then maybe even building webinars around that topic and things like that. But don't blow your load too soon.
Yeah.